All right. Well, hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for showing up. And it is my great pleasure to introduce Ann Cardin on behalf of the Greater St. Louis Region Network in Action, NIAX groups. Ann Cardin is a strategic business growth consultant and CEO of A. Carden Incorporated and founder of the Expert in You brand and influence marketing and media agency. She is a four times author and number one international best-selling author, speaker, top 10% podcast host, and magazine publisher. Again, it is my pleasure to introduce Ann Cardin.
Hey everyone, it is great to be here with you. Thank you so much. And I would love to know what business you're in and how long you've been in business. So drop that in the chat. I want to get you into action right away. I want this to be really interactive today. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen. So give me a second to get this set up. All right. Well, you are here because you want to stop competing and win better business. And this is about becoming the obvious choice in any market or industry. So I want to share with you today how to work higher and not harder. And it's a missed opportunity in a lot of businesses. And my question for you is, if you were to rate your business on a scale of 1 to 5, how good you are at what you do in your business, how many of you would say you are a 3 or a 4 or a 5? All right, type it in the chat. Me, if you're up there. If you're a 1 or 2, that's probably just because you're starting out. You haven't been in business very long, and that's okay. This is still going to be relevant for you. But if you're a 4 or 5, I want to talk to you today about how to stop competing. You should not be competing if you're great at what you do. So how do you take yourself out of competition and be able to really build a business at a higher level that's more profitable, more revenue? So I want to look at the chat here really quick. And if you have any questions along the way, just pop them in the chat. At the end, I'll give you a chance to ask questions. And if we have a few minutes in between, I'll take a look at some of the questions as well. So type those in. Great. I love seeing the answers come in. Thank you. Thank you for getting into action. I love it. We're also going to be doing a little bit of a strategic diagnostic today on your exact business. So we will do that a little bit later on. So get ready to do some work. All right, let's dive in. So if you are great at what you do, you should not be competing on price. You should not compete with lower level competitors, people who are not as good as you. They don't have the experience or the expertise. They haven't been in business as long as you have been. And you shouldn't constantly have to prove why you are the better choice. So I want to expand your mind and I want to elevate how you think about your business and what you're doing so that you can start building at the level that you really deserve for the work that you have already put in and have done. So it's not about competing hard, it's about winning easier. And so often, again, people think about more activity, more marketing, more clients, more customers, whatever that more is. But what happens is as they are building more, the profits often go down. They end up working more hours. They end up doing more. And so I want to show you a better way to build a business. It's a strategic business growth approach that, again, most people are missing out on. And it's one great approach. And I call it business elevation. Now, this is a phrase that I kind of coined in my business, but this is where you'll have stronger growth. You're going to be able to get better clients and customers, whatever you call them, it doesn't matter. You're going to get better. You're going to make higher profits. And at the end of the day, if you could make more money for what you're already doing, it's going to be less grind and more freedom in your business. Do you agree with that? You're going to work less, right? So business elevation is one strategic business growth approach. And here's what I really want you to understand. It will work in any market or industry. It's not about taking your business to a next level. I don't want to confuse it. This is about elevating everything that you're doing so that you're working at the top. That's a very different play in your business and a very different growth strategy. Again, from just going to the next level. Going to the next level a lot of times means, okay, you're just going up in revenue. You're doing more of what you're already doing. This is a completely different approach. And I have done this with hundreds of clients in over 80 different industries. I've been doing it for 16 years. Before that, I did it in multiple businesses that I built. And I'm going to share a little bit of that story, how I came to understand this model. And it has worked in plumbing companies, auto repair shops, financial businesses. It makes no difference. So you can do this if you are good at what you do. If you gave me a 4 or a 5, you can do this in your business. It's just knowing how to apply these principles. So I want to share with you the impact this has when you do it. I worked with an auto repair shop, and I'm telling you this, the client stories I'm telling you are to show you the opportunity that you have. They're not to pitch or to inflate what I do. It's not about that. It's to show you what you could be doing in your business. So I had a client, auto repair shop. He was actually struggling in his business, and we implemented the things I'm going to show you today. And he was able to sell his business a couple years later for a lot of money and retire very happy and very well off. I worked with a plumbing company. We implemented these principles into his business as well. He tripled his business. He went from a little over $1 million to over $3 million in a year. He had more profits than he had ever had in his business ever. He bought out competitors and he expanded into other businesses. So I am telling you this because this is an approach that can change your life. It can change the trajectory of your business. I typically can help clients get paid 3 to 10 times more. So even one of my clients, who was a professional service client, was selling $1,500 packages. We moved her into $50,000 clients. That was a big change in her business. So a lot of people out there will tell you, oh, just raise your prices, go up on your prices, you'll make more money. This is above that. This is not about raising prices. When I think of raising prices, it would be like taking a $1,500 package and making it maybe $1,700. That's raising prices. But when you go from $1,500 to $50,000 packages, that is something that takes a very different approach and a very different strategy. So that's the elevation that we're talking about today. So a question for you, type it in the chat. Who here would love to get paid more for what you are already doing? Type it in the chat. Me, I would, yes. Now, I just want to tell you, I've been presenting and speaking for many, many years and 16 years as an advisor, and I've never had anybody say no. I don't know why that is. No one has ever said no. So business elevation is helping you go higher to grow more. And I love to use a money tree, a kind of metaphor here. Think about your business. And I think a lot of small business owners don't think about their business like a money tree, but it is. It can build wealth. It can build financial freedom. There's so much opportunity when you have your own business. I mean, it is the wealth builder in the world. It is to have your own business. But a lot of people don't treat it that way. They treat it like an income, or they kind of become an employee in their own business. And so think about if your business is a money tree, and you have this little bitty money tree and you're not doing the right things to it. You're not fertilizing it right. You're not watering it with you're trying to water it with lemonade instead of water. It's not going to work, right? And it's only going to grow so big. You're only going to make so much money. But imagine if you're actually putting the right things into that tree. You're taking care of it. You want that tree to grow as big as it can. That's what we're talking about here. If that tree grows higher, you know it's going to bear more fruit, right? So that's what we want to think about, the concept of higher, the concept of elevation. And here's the cool thing, just like some of the client results I shared with you, when you do this, you then can start expanding your money trees. You can kind of build an orchard of money trees. So when I think about the plumbing company client that I shared with you, when he was able to be more profitable than he had ever been done before, he bought out competitors. He opened more, he had more businesses. He had the money to really grow and expand beyond his current money. So he was building an orchard of money trees. And that's the expansion that I want to give you today, because this really is your opportunity in your business. So think about this. This is how most people try to build a business. Here's their current business. And then they do more. They run faster for more growth. They never elevate. They never go up first. And so all that money is sitting in their business. It's all just sitting there and it's not being captured. So how do you elevate? You move up market. You stop competing on price. You start winning better business. You start playing at the top of your market versus competing with everyone else. And by the way, we are seeing the middle market is starting to kind of collapse. There's kind of a low market now, and then there's a high market. So if you've been in business for any length of time and you're good at what you do, you can go up market. I mean, I've never worked with anyone that could not do it. Better clients, better margins, better growth. This is where you get to work with the best and you get to be seen as the best in your market. Because I have to tell you, if you're competing on price or competitors are getting some of your business, it is a race to the bottom, as I'm going to talk about. So move up market. So the new model, the new approach looks like this. You've got your current business here. Then you elevate, you go up first, and everything levels up. Everything goes up, what you're charging, how you're selling your services, how you're seen in the market, the clients and the customers that you're getting. And then you do more of that. Do you see the difference? So up first, then more growth, because now you'll have the money to really grow and grow at the level that you want. Now, I want to just share a story with you on how I learned all of this and how this actually became my model. It took me a long time to figure out this was my model. I just want to share that. But it really came from way back when I was in my 20s. Going higher, not harder, is not a theory. I've lived it not only when I was 20 years old, and I'll share that, but within all the businesses that I built, and I've also lived it in all of my clients' businesses. So I want you to know this isn't something I read in a book, and it's not just something that sounds nice. This is the real deal. So when I was 20, after I got out of school, I started doing business management in high-end retail department stores. And I was managing multi-million-dollar departments. And I managed all over the store at one time or another. Everything from designer clothing to fur coats to, designer kids clothes to designer shoes and bags, all of that, everything high level. But over time, as I changed stores, still the same company, still high end, I moved into a store called an EOM store. And if you look at the picture on the left here, this is more a reflection. So the picture on the right is the high end. Now, our day-to-day business was the high end on the picture on the right. But an EOM store was an end of the month store. And this meant that everybody in our district or everybody in our region sent in to our store for an end of the month sale, a 3-day sale, all of their stuff that maybe had slight damages, it was returned, they were claims of some kind. It might have been merchandise that didn't move. They had to liquidate these things, right? So we were an end of the month store. Our day-to-day business was great and fun, and I loved it. But the end of the month stuff, not so much. All month long, our payroll, we had so much more payroll at the end of the month stores than I did at all the other stores that I worked at. All month long, we unboxed, we dredged through loads and loads of stuff. We had to price it. We had to do all the stuff to get ready for the end of the month sale. And at the end of the month sale, it looked like this. People would fight over merchandise. Now, think about this. Okay, this was, gosh, almost 40 years ago. Okay, a designer suit that was maybe $500 40 years ago was maybe $50 at the end of the month sale, like $50 or $60. So you can see how people would go nuts over all of this stuff. It was exhausting. People would fight. The clients and customers were not as much fun as the fur coat customers that would buy a $20,000 fur coat that we serve champagne to. I mean, it was just a world of difference. And so I instinctively learned this whole idea 40 years ago. And then when I started doing my own business, I didn't even realize that I instinctively knew this. And I started building premium services into my volume businesses. So I was doing like everyone else does. It's very natural, grow the same thing, do more marketing, more customers, more clients. And then at some point I took a step back and I thought, I need to be able to sell things more premium. And so I started implementing that into my business. And then I started doing that with clients, and even again, like a plumbing company, helping them be at the top of their market so that they were getting the best customers, the best prices. They were seen differently in the market, and it worked in every industry I've done this in. So that's my story. That's how I came to arrive at this method that I use with my clients now. And to me, it is a complete game changer. And in building all of my businesses, this idea of elevation has helped me expand into other businesses when everyone else was shutting down during a recession. I had competitors asking me to buy them out. I was still expanding because I had moved up market. So it's a totally different game. It will build sustainability into your business, and basically you can create your own economy. So I don't just believe it, I lived it, and I still live it today. So, all right, very quickly, why should you listen to me? Well, I just gave you the story. It's not theory, but I am a business growth advisor. I've worked with hundreds of owners over 16 years. I've built 7 businesses, sold 5 of those. I'm a 4-time author, a speaker, a podcast host. I'm the CEO of Expert in You Marketing and Media Agency, and I've generated over 8 figures in business for both myself and my clients. So this is, Brent already said who I was, so I don't have to talk about this any longer. All right, so how do you do this? First of all, there are 3 major elevation opportunities that sit in a business. And even one of these can make a huge difference. But when you do all 3 of them, like, it's crazy what it can do to your business and how it can change up your business. So this is about the opportunities to help businesses work higher. And we're going to do some exercises a little bit later when I show you like really how to do this. We're going to actually kind of do some things with your business, so you'll be able to see how to apply this. All right, so opportunity number 1 is what I like to call the value to revenue opportunity. There's so much money that is sitting in businesses. You saw that picture, right? The elevation, it's all sitting there kind of hidden in a business. This is about more income, better business, and greater leverage that is probably already inside of what you have built. So when you think about revenue, so often businesses don't have strong revenue models. The revenue model that they've built is going to be a difficult play to get them to the real goals that they have and the big outcomes that they want. It's why their profits stay low, because they have to keep grinding and putting more and more and more money back into their business. But think about this. If you went up and charged and you were able to make 3 times more than what you're making right now, that would probably have an impact on your business, right? Without more money going out. So there's opportunity with revenue and profits, really, with every single business, but these are uncaptured in a lot of businesses. So it's what I like to call money being left on the table. Often it's in your packaging, it's in your pricing, and it's in how you are selling your services. It can also be in things that you're giving away that you shouldn't be. That happens a lot when I go in and work with businesses. We uncover opportunities where they are giving stuff away to try to acquire clients and customers. Excuse me. And they could easily be charging big dollars. And it's crazy the impact it makes when we do that for them, when we help them do that. But again, sometimes they don't know about it or they don't know how. But just note that these opportunities exist. How you sell your services, that's another area where people miss out on a lot of business. A good example is a lot of people sell transactional, especially if you're in professional services, they're selling transactions, but they're not selling things that retain clients. They're not retaining clients and customers. The other thing I'll tell you, when you go up market, you actually will get more loyal clients and customers. I'll talk more about this later, but you'll get people that will want to spend money with you over and over and over again. So it's so different on so many different levels. Here's what I want you to really understand. When you have a weak revenue model, you cannot outmarket, outwork, or outsell a weak revenue model. If your pricing is too low, if you're charging by the hour, if you're not selling packages at a level where you can maintain clients or keep clients, all of those things is revenue being lost in a business. So when I work with clients, the very first thing we look at is, what are you selling and how are you selling it and how much are you charging and how is that package? Because that's the foundation of a business. So if you don't have that right, no amount of marketing, no amount of employees, no amount of anything that you're doing, networking, anything, it's not going to have the impact that it can, because you're missing the most basic foundational piece that could really exponentially grow your business. Opportunity number 2 is what I call the market recognition opportunity. The market can only choose the value it can see, trust, and understand clearly. So it has to see you as someone who should be getting the best pricing, someone who should be getting the better clients, why people should choose you, how you're different. And obviously they should see you, right? The visibility piece. But so often there are people that are out there telling you that you need to raise your visibility, raise your visibility. But if you're raising your visibility and you're becoming recognized with the wrong clients and customers that you don't love and they're not paying you a lot, what is the point of that, right? So in a lot of businesses, this is an opportunity, or they're not seen enough. That's another opportunity, but you want to be seen by the right people who can pay you the better money. That's your growth opportunity. So positioning is the outside perception people have of you and your business. So I see you for the first time. I'm going to create an idea of what I think, right? We all do it. We're visual people. So if I come across your website, I'm going to look at that and I'm going to instantly come up with a conclusion about what I think about your business, if you're for me, if you're not for me, if you're any different than anybody else. And here's the reality for most businesses. They have weak positioning. They're not doing anything wrong. They're running great businesses on the inside. It's like if you look at the picture here on the right, they're gold on the inside. They're amazing. They do great work. They do great customer service. They're excellent. But on the outside, they don't look any different than their competition. And this means you give people nothing to really compare except price. So if you're getting customers and clients where price is kind of an issue, or even if you tried to maybe charge more and you weren't able to, you've probably got a positioning opportunity. I like to say opportunity, not a problem, but an opportunity for you, because I believe that's what it is when you're elevating. So weak positioning is actually costly to a business. It means you have nothing to compare but price. It's a race to the bottom. you're going to have lower profits, you're going to have more work, and you're going to have little reward. And this picture actually, to me, says it all. Weak positioning means you're going to burn up more money in marketing if you are spending money in marketing. If you aren't spending money, but maybe everything is based on time, you're out networking, you're speaking, you're doing whatever you do to develop your business, build relationships, you're going to have more effort, and you're going to have more exhaustion because you have weak positioning. So weak positioning is actually the foundation before you ever market your business. And there's opportunity that sits inside of your positioning. And then finally, opportunity number 3 is what I call growth momentum. It's where the right pieces are working together to turn relationships, influence, and opportunity into high caliber business. And I don't want to underplay high caliber business because that is what we're talking about here. You might have marketing systems, but maybe they're not bringing you high caliber clients or customers, and you really deserve those better clients and customers. So again, more doesn't equate to better. And I will tell you, hands down, you will never convince me otherwise. Better is always better than more. Always better than more. It just gives you much bigger financial leaps. So the growth momentum is about choosing your clients. I get to choose the clients I want to work with, or the customers. I get to choose them. We get to say no to the ones that aren't a good fit or that don't really land with us. You get to create your own economy of growth. This is so important. I've been through recessions. I've been through 9/11. I've been through COVID. I've been through everything. And here's what I'll tell you. When you go up market, you are not having to worry about the same things as when you are working with lower value clients. And when I'm saying lower value, I'm talking strictly from a money standpoint. So don't misunderstand me. But think about it. When clients are strapped for money, or a pandemic hits, or whatever is going to happen out there, a recession, the first thing they're going to do is start looking for ways to cut. I can't pay for your services anymore. I can't do this anymore, right? You probably all have experienced that if you've been in business for any length of time. But when you go up market, they see the value. They have the money. The money is not even the thing they care about. What do they care about? They care that they're getting, that you're saving them time. They care that you're doing work they don't want to do. They're buying back their time. That's what they care about. So it's a very different mindset when you're working with these higher level clients. Also, you can build predictable momentum. So when you're working at market and you're building momentum, you can put in systems that bring in the higher level clients. And guess what? You're going to have the money to do more of that. You're not going to be so strapped. It will generate opportunities beyond referrals. Think about rooms that you would love to get in. And when you start getting in those rooms, guess what? More of those rooms open up. Think about a great referral that you got from a great client. Wouldn't you love more of those? Right? So this is what we're talking about. So we want to build momentum with those people, with those opportunities. You'll get to win the business you actually want, and using the right systems, you'll be able to grow at a higher level. So these are the 3 opportunities. Now I want to talk about the power moves that can help you implement these. Whoops. All right. Before we do that, I want to just say one more thing. You can confidently grow a business you can consistently predict. So often people are piecemealing things together in their business, and they're not able to really predict their growth. A good example of this too is everybody here is, a Networking in Action member, and referrals are awesome. They are gravy. To me, they're gravy. They're golden. But if you can't count on them, then you can't predictably grow your business. So you need systems. When those referrals come in, they're gravy. They are like icing on the cake, but you need systems that can give you predictable growth. So that's what growth momentum opportunity really is. So here are the 3 strategic power moves. And this is where we're going to work on your business just a little bit. And we're going to start looking at how you can implement these things and where you kind of sit right now with each of these. So the first power move is you have to engineer business elevation. It is not just going to happen. It's like I was saying earlier, you'll have people that will say, I see a lot of advisors out there, oh, raise your prices, or oh, you need to do this kind of marketing. You need to generate more leads. You need to do all of this. But again, is more the right thing? Or do you deserve to elevate your business and get the best clients, get the best relationships, get the best opportunities? But you have to engineer that. It doesn't just happen. So the first thing is you want to strengthen how your business is designed to make money. How can you repackage, reprice, and sell differently than competition, than competitors, and be able to get more for what you're already doing? So again, going up market. You want to move beyond low prices. One of the things I see, we've seen some market shifts recently. I think a lot of people would agree with that. We've got a war going on and there are all kinds of things. One of the things that I see is great people going down market. They're lowering. How can I sell something lower? How can I create something lower? How can I offer something lower? And I want to flip that for you. I want you to think differently. How can I go higher? Everyone's going to go lower. Everyone. If you are great at what you do, you deserve to go up, not down. Go up. So this is where hidden revenue often sits in the businesses. Pricing power, uncaptured value. So again, what you might be giving something away that you shouldn't be giving away. It might be your highest value. I do this with my clients all the time. We find out, okay, what should you be selling and what are you selling? Also, I talked about it earlier, retaining customers and clients. How can you keep them longer? And when you're going up market, again, those people appreciate you, they value you, and you will keep them longer. I had clients for 20 years. They bought everything I put out. This was in my other businesses, and everything I put out, they would buy. And it just made such a difference in my business. It was the thing that gave me the money, gave me the expansion, all of that. Sales conversion, where you may be leaving opportunity in your business on the table in your sales conversion. Are you not converting enough people? Do you not have ways that you are turning those into bigger sales? All of those things are part of sales conversion. And then finally, profit leaks. Where are there profit leaks? So this is the hidden revenue that sits in most businesses. And again, I don't want to say they're gaps. To me, they're opportunities. Like, go after it. Go get it. So imagine if you could get paid 3 to 10 times more for what you're already doing. I think probably I should look at the chat, but I think I asked everyone, would you like to get paid more for what you're already doing? I didn't look at the chat, but I'm assuming everyone probably said yes on that, because I don't think I've ever had anybody say no. But what about 3 to 10 times more? That would be significant. So let's take a look at that for your business. Whoops, hold on. I want to share this. I got ahead of myself here. Another client story. Does this have impact in your business? This was a client. She had a $350,000 a year business. We began working together to implement elevation. And in one client, she closed that client. It was an existing client who was paying her $60,000 a year. She was a social media marketing agency. They were paying her $60,000, but she knew she had more opportunities. She had 10 years in business. She just wasn't getting the level of client she deserved because she wasn't selling herself right. She went back to an existing client. She turned that $60,000 client into a $413,000 client by doing elevation. They looked at her different. They now looked at her as a partner. And this is the impact that this can have in a business. That one client outdid her entire business with all of her clients put together. Okay, so now's the exercise. Imagine if you could be making 3 times more. Now, I would say take your current revenue, if you know it, what you have accomplished this year so far, and triple it. If you don't know that number, you could take your highest customer, your highest client, and triple it. Do the math. Grab your phone, grab your calculator, and do the math. And if you're really not sure of either of those things, which I'm sure you are, but you could always take last year's revenue. Everybody did their taxes. You could take that and triple it. Because again, it's rare that this opportunity is not sitting in someone's business. You just have to know how to do it. So who likes the numbers? Wave at the camera. Do you like the new number better? Yes? That is your opportunity, okay? Again, not a gap, not a gap. You're not doing anything wrong, but let's elevate today. Okay, strategic power move number 2. Now you have to elevate your positioning and your influence in the market so that you could make that happen. Because again, it's not about just charging more. People have to understand how you can charge more and why they should pay more. All of that has to show up in your positioning. And great positioning does something else. It influences buyers. It influences the right people to want to invest in you, in your company, in your business, whatever it is you do. And again, it doesn't matter what your business is, whether you're a financial advisor or a plumbing company, the same rules and power moves apply. So here's a visual that I think will bring this home for you. Do you stand out in a category of 1 like a diamond in the midst of plain, boring, gray rocks? Would you agree that a diamond is elevated? Would you agree that it's premium? It looks better. The right people want the diamond. They're not going to buy the rock, right? They're not going to buy the gray rock. Your business on the outside has to be elevated so that your positioning and your influence, the diamond buyers are going to want it. They're going to want it. And they're going to see you that way. And again, this can all be engineered. There's one caveat here. You have to be good at what you do. I will say that. You can't, I've seen some bad businesses. They weren't really very good. They didn't give that great of customer service, but they were really good at marketing and they were able to do this. Now, over time, that's not sustainable and it won't be. But if you are great at what you do, I want to encourage you to start thinking like this and start thinking, how can I become the diamond? One of the things when I was building all of my businesses, I always looked for ways to be better and different than my competition so I could charge more. And in my businesses, I would get the people that were at higher levels in my businesses. And I was looked at as the more premium business. And when I opened and expanded more businesses, I went up market even more. So again, such a difference in the people that you'll get. So elevated positioning, when people see you on the outside, it should do the heavy lifting for your marketing and for who you are. You should not have to be proving yourself. Your positioning should do that for you. Your influence in the market and what people see and how they're influenced, it should be doing the heavy lifting. You should never have to sit on a sales call and convince somebody why they should pay your prices or buy from you. If you have ever had to do that, your positioning has opportunity. You want your positioning to influence buyers. This is a big piece, and it's a big piece that a lot of people are missing. Again, they're talking about visibility, more visibility, more visibility. I see this all over online and out there in the market, but it's actually deeper than that. It's bigger than that. There's a difference in being visible and being influential. Would you all agree with that? Right? There's a big difference. So you want to influence buyers, but you want your marketing, you want your positioning to do that for you. You don't want to have to sit there and try to influence people. Everything that you're doing should already do that. So when you do this effectively, guess what? It practically pre-sells you. They already know they want to work with you. They already know they want to hire you. They already know that you're the one. And again, this can be engineered. The auto repair shop that I am going to go back to, when we did this for him, one of the things that he told me when I started working with him, just to give you an idea kind of how this worked, he said, we do not charge people for things that are not broken or that, a lot of people think a lot of times auto repair, they can scam you, right? And they will charge you for things that you don't need. And that's sort of an idea out there, kind of like used car salesmen. We know there's like this, sometimes this stigma that kind of goes with it. He said, but we know our competition is doing that. We know they are, but we don't do that. And people trust us. And so we did all of his positioning around that, but we couldn't just say it. Like we couldn't just say, oh, we're better and we don't charge you for things that don't need to be fixed and all that. That was all part of his messaging, but then we had to back that up. We backed it up with 150 customer reviews and testimonials. So there was no question that what he said was exactly what he did. So that's what I'm talking about. And that did the heavy lifting for him. That's how his business exploded. And that's how he was able to sell it 2 years later. He was able to actually charge higher prices because they knew it was going to be fair and it was going to be honest. And that meant more to people than trying to, somebody that was trying to sell something low price. And then they just added on all of this stuff, which is kind of, if you've ever been, has anybody ever been to like a Jiffy Lube or, like an oil change place, and they'll bring you in on a, $10 oil change, but then they'll tell you need this and this and this and this. So nothing wrong with upselling. There's nothing wrong with that, but it should be done in integrity and not dishonest. And his competitor was doing it dishonestly. So that's just a good example of how this all works. So let's do a positioning exercise for you. How are you seen in the market? So what I want you to do is go onto your computer and pull up a Google incognito window. And if you look, there's 3 little dots up in the corner of your screen in a new search, in your search, and click on those 3 little dots and you can do an incognito window. And the reason we do it as an incognito window is it's going to show you the way other people see you. See, your computer's used to you, so it knows what you search and what you're all about. And so we want to actually look at it where it can't recognize you. And so an incognito window is going to do that. So what I want you to do is pull up your business or your name if you go by your name, and we're going to rate yourself. I want you to rate yourself here for each one of these areas based on what you see in an incognito window. Is this making sense to everyone? Okay. So rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being very weak, 5 being very strong. All right. Now, if we had time to do breakouts, the great thing, and you guys could still do this later, the great thing would be to have someone else rate you, because unfortunately, we're all a bit biased, right, in our own business, but you could have someone else rate you. But for right now, just rate yourself. Let's see what you come up with. So number 1, is it clear who you help, how you help, and why it matters? Is that clear instantly? Like, what are you seeing out there? This is going to be your message and just everything that people are seeing. So on a scale of 1 to 5. Number 2, can buyers quickly see, write these down too. We're going to add these numbers up. Can buyers quickly see what makes you different? And look, I just want to tell you, it has to be something buyers care about. It cannot be we've been in business 150 years. I'm not saying that's not important, but buyers aren't going to buy that. That's not what they buy. They want to buy, they're going to buy what you do for them, why you're different, why they should buy from you over everyone else. So what makes you different? Just like the auto repair shop, what made him different? He took that doubt that people have completely out of their mind. And here's the other thing. Women don't like going to auto repair shops without their husbands or without a man because they feel like they get taken advantage of, right? So we also did a lot of reviews that women gave for that reason. The idea in positioning is to remove any doubt and show clearly why you are saying what you're saying. All right, number 3, does your brand look premium or budget? Do you look like the diamond or do you look like the gray rock? Do you look high end? Number 4, do you look impressive? Are you kind of a wow? Like when people Google you, are you a wow? Your business, like you stand out in your industry or in your market as a wow? Or are you just another business? And then finally, content, your message, your brand influence with buyers. Can they easily see why you are the obvious choice and the one to choose? This is strong positioning. So the higher you are, the better your positioning is. And maybe you see some opportunity here in certain things. So now add those numbers up. I will tell you this, if you are a 20 to 25, so there's 5 available for each one of these 5 areas. If you're a 20 to a 25, oh my gosh, give yourselves a hand and a pat on the back because you are doing what most people are not. There's probably still room for opportunity, but if you're a 20 or 25, you're probably already doing a great job ahead of your competition. You could make that, but is your pricing and your packaging and all of that revenue model, are you selling yourself short? You've got great positioning, but you're actually selling yourself short. So think about that. So if you want to, you can type the number in the chat. If you want to do that, that's up to you. What is your total? If anybody wants to share. If you're a 20 or 25, share it. You should be super proud of that. Okay, whoops, all right, power move number 3, expand and win. This is where you want to, now you've elevated. Okay, your revenue model is solid. It's great. You're getting paid top dollar for everything you're doing. You're profitable. You're making a lot more profits. Everything's great. Your positioning is spot on. You know the clients and customers you want. Now you want to build that momentum, right? You want to expand on that and you want to put that on steroids. This is where you're going to put in systems that can help you do that. So you want customized business development and client acquisition strategies or customer strategies built for the right business and the right buyers. Now, the other thing I'm going to tell you, remember how I said when you have weak positioning, you're going to burn up money in your marketing? I can't tell you the money that I have helped clients save in their marketing when we elevated their positioning, because now they were getting the right buyers. They were very clear on who those people were. They weren't just wasting money trying to market to everyone. It just was such a game changer. So when you actually elevate everything, you want to make sure you're putting in the right strategies. Now, there is no one size fits all. Write that down. There is no one size fits all. Depending on who the market is you want in that elevated positioning and in that elevated business, based on who you want, the strategies are going to change. They're going to be different. You need something customized. One of the things that just makes me crazy, I'm in the online world, right? I go out and speak and things like that. But one of the things that makes me crazy is that I see everybody selling funnels and they're selling, you need more leads and spamming people and the list goes on and on. But though a lot of those strategies are not even right for high caliber buyers. High caliber buyers don't react to those kind of strategies. So if you're going after, if you have a professional service business, or if you have a small business and you're going after affluent buyers or high caliber, let's say a top level CEO, guess what? They're not going to opt in for some little lead magnet that you've probably been told you need. So you have to understand the buyer, you have to understand how they buy, how they're influenced, and then you have to develop the right strategies around that. And it typically means you are implementing strategies that are higher level. So the right strategy, not tactics. A lot of people are out there, they're on social media and they're running ads and they're, doing a YouTube channel and they're networking and they're doing all of those things. None of that is the secret sauce to better business. What you need is a great strategy that's right for your clients and customers, that will bring in the people you want, and that will simplify your business. A great strategy, I'm not saying you can't be doing multiple things, but the right strategy, they should be feeding each other. So they're not all disconnected tactics. So if you are getting clients multiple ways, pulling those things together can definitely give you more time back into your life and make your effort less, but it can also start multiplying what you are doing to get better results. You also want to leverage offline or online and offline. One of the things that really attracted me to Network in Action with Scott and everything that you guys are doing is that Scott has done that. He has brought the online world, he's brought the offline idea into the online world. There are ways to leverage that even more, but he is ahead of the curve and he is ahead of the networking industry. And I think it's brilliant. It's way overdue. But are you guys leveraging that the way you could be? Could you be doing so much more with that? Could your, so when you go out and network, what are you doing with those relationships? How are you leveraging the online world that Scott has given you here, the platform he's given you? How are you leveraging that to start building on your business? There's so much opportunity there. The businesses that are winning today are doing both. And it goes beyond having an online presence. We've been hearing that for years, that when websites first came out, everybody was like, you need an online presence. Every marketer in the world was selling, you need an online presence. It's not enough anymore. Everybody has an online presence of some kind, right? But what you do need to do is elevate all of that so that you are seen at the top of your market, the top of your industry. You're doing offline and online things and you're merging those worlds. That's where the big dollars sit. That's where the big opportunity sits. You want to create systems that create predictability. Again, you can't grow if you can't predict your business. So you have to have marketing and sales systems that are predictable. And that's going to look different for everyone. But whatever you have, even if it's networking, and networking is where you get most of your business, there are ways to leverage that to make it more predictable. There's all kinds of back-end things you can do to make that business a lot more consistent and a lot more predictable. And then you start treating it like a system where you can measure it. So you don't want piecemeal tactics here that are disconnected. You want things that cohesively work together. That's where the real opportunity is going to be for you in your business. You want to make sure that your sales process closes more buyers. A clear path to conversion, more yeses. Now, I know that you guys have people that do, sales presentations and things like that. One of the things that makes sales so much easier is when people come to you already sold, because they know that you are the one. You're the one they want to choose. Your business is the one they want to choose. And that comes with all of the work beforehand. A lot of times people lump marketing and sales into one bucket, and they're not. They're two completely different processes. But your marketing should do the heavy lifting to bring you the right buyers that are pre-sold that will easily say yes. So let's do one more quick exercise here for your business. Let's see how you do on this. So again, 1 to 5, I like using scales. Uh, I want you to see where you fall on each of these things. So rate yourself again. Again, nobody's going to see it. This is for you. Are you leveraging both online and offline marketing to create visibility and conversations? Are you doing a really good job with that at a 5 or 4? Or do you feel like there's some opportunity there? Number 2, do you have a customized business development strategy for clients and for the clients and customers you want? Now let's think about if you go up market and if you elevate, do you feel like the strategy you have now would work for that? Because you're probably going to have to elevate your strategy as well, so you can rate yourself however you want there. Number 3, are your marketing, outreach, and networking efforts working cohesively together? Are they feeding each other? Number 4, do you have a sales process that helps you consistently close more of the right buyers? Or do you get a lot of no's? Or if you have professional services, are you in front of a lot of people that don't buy? You're having to convince. All of those things are missed opportunities. And then are you proactively winning business? Or, this is a big one, are you waiting and hoping it comes in? And look, I want you to know there's no judgment here. I have fallen into all of these things. So, and it's instinctive, right? They're things that most business people do until they learn differently. So no judgment, don't judge yourself. This is about showing you what you could be doing that will really exponentially grow your business. So how did you come out? On a scale of, you have 25 possible, where did you fall? What's your total? Do you see an opportunity there for yourself? So remember I said, if you put even one of these power moves into your business, it could have a massive impact on your business. Engineer business elevation. Strengthen how your business is designed to make money. Elevate your positioning and influence. Expand and win. Implement systems, high-level systems that are going to bring you the right people that are pre-sold. Even one of these areas could make a significant difference. But when you implement all 3, it will change the game for you. And I know you can hear the passion in my voice because I want this for you. If you are good at what you do, oh my gosh, it breaks my heart when I see businesses that should be in elevation mode and they're not. So I hope that today, my prayer today is that you have a very different idea around growing your businesses, not just doing more, but elevating what you're doing. I want to help you, I want you to rise above low price competitors. Put yourself in a category of 1. Write that down. A category of 1. No one else can compete with you. No one else does what you do the way you do it, and it's easily seen. Create a business that is built, seen, and equipped to win at a higher level.
We have appointment at 2 already checked in. Mike prospect.
Become the obvious choice and the one they choose. Write that down. How can you become the obvious choice and the one they choose? That's what I want for you. And look, if you're newer to business, then aspire to get to this place. It will change your life. It will change your life. So what could the next level of elevation be worth to your business? Better clients, bigger opportunities, higher revenue and profits. Again, looking at this, go up first, then look at how you can grow. Grow that. And if this is resonating with you, no big long pitch here, but if this is resonating and you want some help, this is what I do. You can book a call with me. If you want some help to do this, your opportunity is there, and we'll identify what your biggest opportunities are in your business, and we'll talk about how we can work together. All right, so I'm going to leave this up, and I want to just open it up. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about your own business. I would love any feedback of what you gained from this, what resonated. Share. I'm going to have to put on my glasses to see the chat, but let me, if you have any questions, start dropping them in there. Oh, you weren't able to conduct the exercise. You know what? This is going to be put in your portal, so you'll be able to go back and do those. I'm not sure who KL is, but you'll be able to go back and do those. Again, okay. Let me see. What questions do you have? Thank you, Moose. I appreciate that. I don't want it just to be information, though, you guys. I want to encourage you and to start looking at how you can do this in your business. And certainly let me know if you need some help, but ready to implement. Awesome. I love that. Giving you so much to work on, my search page. Okay. Yeah, it's easy sometimes to just get complacent with what we're doing. But for most people, I just believe that they probably haven't really seen this before. Do you agree? They're not really thinking elevation. They're thinking growth, and they're completely, two different things completely. No questions? Wow. I'm so surprised you don't have any questions. Also, I just want to throw this out there. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Let's connect. I would love to get to know you. I'm on LinkedIn. That's my main place. I'm on Facebook too, but LinkedIn's my main place. So I would love to connect with you there as well. Running faster is not the answer. Bingo. You're right about that. Okay, your online reputation is pretty good. Oh, yes, you can make it even better. Absolutely. Market positioning is to give the client predictable. So how to elevate and retain predictable. Okay. Not sure what your business is. Again, this is going to be different for everybody. You have to, when you're doing positioning, it should include trust, credibility, how you're different, who your ideal people are. Like, there should be no question that you're for them. And think about this, and I didn't really talk about this, but you have about 3 seconds to make that impression. Think about somebody you come across that's a wow. You're like, wow. And then you start leaning in, right? You start looking a little closer at everything. And you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is great. This person, I need to talk to them. That's what we're talking about. You've got to get their attention, but you've got to get the right attention. You've got to get the attention with what you want to be known for and what you want to be seen for. All of those things have to come into positioning. IT and cybersecurity. Ooh, I love that. That's such a great opportunity because right now cybersecurity is huge. Shar, where are you at in the world? Is it Shar Salisbury? Okay, where are you at in the world? Where are you located?
Minneapolis, St. Paul area, Midwest.
Oh my gosh, you have huge opportunity. We should chat. We should chat. This is such, cybersecurity is going to be such this is good news and bad news, okay? Shar, the opportunity is going to be there that this industry is going to explode. It is already exploding. It also means you're going to have more competition. So you are going to have ways to really stand out, set yourself apart. I don't know what your background is and all of that. But yeah, if you need some help with that, I would love to chat, and let's just connect even on LinkedIn. I can look at your LinkedIn and even show you some opportunities. So, but you can book a call if you want some help with this, but you've got huge opportunity and big money when you're targeting the right people. I don't know who you're targeting now, but yeah, this is going to explode. All right. Any other questions? Uh-oh, you're not seeing anything for June? Moose, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll double check my link.
Yeah, your link is not working. It shows
Oh, that's
no
weird.
appointments
I checked it right
available
before
for
we got
June.
on.
So I think we're already connected.
Okay, I'll go chat with you as soon as we get off of here today. Let me go check my link or give me a few minutes after we get off here. I'll double check it.
Thank you,
And then
Ann.
you can, yeah, then you can book. Great. I'll look forward to speaking with you. Can I critique your presence? Okay, I don't have your information. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, let's chat. And that was Esmita, I think. We can look at that. Okay, great. Moose, I'm gonna
All right, and Ann, I'm sorry to barge, but we are well over time at this
Let's-
point. So we
okay.
are going to have to give it a wrap here, but I do encourage everyone to check out acarden.com. This was wonderful. Thank you so much. And everyone, I'm going to go ahead and replace the share for just a minute to let you know what's happening with Network in Action next month. Next month for Network with the Nations, definitely be there July 1st, first Wednesday of the month, July 1st. We'll all get together, connect with people all across the world. Be prepared for some one-on-ones on the third Wednesday of the month. We're going to be presenting Mr. Tim Gehring again. A wonderful speaker, guys. I think he's done this. This might be his third or possibly even his fourth time presenting to Network in Action. Love this guy's enthusiasm. And once again, it's like drinking from a water hose. So definitely check him out. And we have a newcomer, Miss April Simpkins. All right, The Art of Storytelling. That's on July 22nd. Check in for that, y'all. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, Ann, for this wonderful
you, Ann.
presentation.
You,
And we look
Ann.
forward to seeing you
Thanks,
all on the
everyone.
next.
Let's connect. I would love to talk to you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Thank you.